years and years of you playing out on the streets and all the people just passing you by, maybe not even paying attention, but you're in your thoughts. What did you discover about yourself as an artist through all that?
Well, like what you said,
period?
of course I thought about putting it down and picking up a shovel. Of course I did. You know, every time I went to do that, some elder would tell me just what I needed to hear. Something along the lines of, just remember, son, you can do what they do, but they can't do what you do. That kind of shit. You know, just when I needed it the whole way. I always thought about putting it down. That's why I was working on farms. You know, I worked on farms coast to coast. And one of the main reasons is like the street just sucks so much out of you. You can't stay out there. At some point I realized that almost everybody else that was playing on the street around us was hooked on something. You know, there is a lot of misery. There's a lot of addiction. There's a lot of struggle out there. And the street catches up. It just does, you know? Which is one of the reasons that I probably was desperate enough to, like, I thought maybe that deal, you know, that Sony deal or whatever you want to call it.
In New York.
Like a parachute. But it wasn't, you know, I thought it was the end of the street struggle. It was like the beginning. But what it did teach me is when, like, on the other side of it, when it fell apart, I think I was 26, 27 and had been doing the street thing for several years. And I realized because of that, you know, that I needed to get off the street or it would kill me, you know, or I would eventually lose, you know, I wouldn't be able to see the forest for the trees, you know, if I kept going any further into it. And that's why I pulled away and went back to California. And then I got deeper into that ganja hustle. But one of the reasons that I was so drawn to it, number one, there was money to be made. Not number one. Number one was like working with my hands in the mountains, in fertile, you know, agricultural valleys. I have always found that to be deeply satisfying. You know, just moving dirt all day feels good.
Yeah.
For me, you know, there is something in that life that this life does not afford us.
Oh, nature is so restorative.
I think about it all the damn time.
Yeah, I live an hour away from here just so I can live by nature. I could never live up in Hollywood. Yeah. It's worth the drive every day. Did you feel alone through that period? I don't really know my parents. My father died. I've kind of moved around, not as much as you, but some people are a lone wolf. And when you said Charley Crockett forever, you know, you have friends, you have people, you have bandmates, you have stuff, but you're a lone wolf in your thinking and your business and your lifestyle. Is that how you kind of have always been, or how you felt?
They used to call me the coyote. El coyote. You know, look, Alexis says maybe I'm turning into a wolf. You know, and, you know.
Have you ever thought about writing a book? Because, I mean, we don't have time now, but you've done stuff in Europe. You are a successful artist now. You've been all over. You've had such pain. I've been in jail numerous times. You've done some time in jail, growing weed up in Mendocino County, all these different things. You're into spaghetti westerns. You spent time in Morocco. Now you're here at Sunset Sound or Snake Mountain Studio 3 making a record with the amazing producer Shooter Jennings and his team. I just think that's so compelling and interesting. Like, it also would help young artists, kind of like the determination you had and the resilience that you went through all this shit. Do you believe in God?
I believe in the Creator.
Yeah,
absolutely. Creator to me is, it's the thread that binds life together, and you can see it everywhere. You know, I'm very spiritual. I get weary of the institutions.
Yeah.
Whether it's religious institutions or, you know.
How does the Creator help in your life, in your art, daily, weekly, or even during records?
There's a saying in New Mexico that you're never alone because the ancestors are watching you from the mountains, you know, while you live your life down in the valley. You're never alone because they're there in the mountains watching you. You know what I mean? That's brought me a lot of comfort, you know, and I don't think that there's such thing as, an end. I'm sure there's not.
I totally agree.
And I'm okay. I'm okay with when that time comes and wherever it goes. I'll be ready for it.
What do you think the purpose of life is? Why we're here on this planet? To be happy? To be very successful? To do whatever we want?
You just said it right in front of it. Life is about purpose. It's just that simple. There are forces that work really hard to remove the sense of purpose from our lives. And usually it's just as simple as, getting you to spend $1 this way or that.
Mm-hmm.
But fulfillment in life, to me, is a sense of purpose. I think the Creator has afforded me this many years on earth so far, because for, all of the mistakes that I've made, I've never intentionally tried to hurt anyone, though, as Tom T. Hall says, there's a few people I can't look in the eye. Music makes me feel like I have a worthwhile purpose in the short time that I walk the earth, and then, so in that way, I feel like I've been able to get away with it this long,
Yeah.
And I have a woman who loves me, and I'm sure that I would not be as good a man without that.
No better feeling than that.
Man.
Security of a woman. Having a purpose, though, people that say, if I won the lottery, I'd go move down to Miami and live on a beach. Like, you'd be bored of that in a month.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to wake up and have a purpose every day. Something. It could even be a workout regimen or learning piano or whatever it is. You have to have something in your life, because that human reward system that we get, even when you finish this record, no matter how it does, how many units, whatever, it's the completion of it, knowing you got these songs out in this period of time. Shooter's whole thing was like, I want to go in Studio 3 for 1 year, and these are the records I made in this time frame. I made these 10 albums in 2024 in Sunset Studio 3. When he said that, I was like, I'm going to do everything I can to facilitate that for him and help this, because it's the purpose of that.
I'm glad to have a little something to do with that. Just a little something.
Oh, yeah. Well, not only just that, 65 years of artistry at this studio. Your name's right next to Crosby, Stills, and Nash on the work orders.
I just want you to put my tapes up there next to Bill's. That's all I want.
You and Bill have
That's the favor I'm
shelf
asking
together.
You. Right.
I will send you a picture of that.
We looked for him hard the other day, didn't we?
Yes.
He eluded us thus far.
It's magical that even exists, or this place exists still in 2024.
It sure is. I couldn't believe it. I was naive. I didn't know it was here. But one look, and I was hooked.